I am woman, hear me roar. I know you want to hold on to the woman I was before, but I'm not her and she isn't me. I'm now standing in the ashes of who I used to be. Loss on the left and heartbreak on the right. But God knew I was his soldier for the fight. Some don't want me to forget the mistakes already done, but God said for my sins, he gave his only son. So your gossip, opinions, and lack of support, I have learned to use that as motivation for improvement and not take it to heart. Don't be selfish to think that for you to go up, you must keep me down. Because my sister, we all deserve to wear a crown. Don't knock my hand when I reach out for you. I know many have done you wrong, and now you only trust a few. I want to see you healed, delivered, and set free. I can't say I love my sister and watch her remain in captivity. You are woman, let them hear you roar, because you are not the her you were before. That was Shaped Woman by myself, Everett Maxine. I am Everett Maxine, and I would like to thank you for listening to The Absence of Her. Please remember to like, follow, and most importantly, share. It's Her Friday, y'all.
Can you tell us your age, your name, and where you're from?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Zulia Mejia, better known as Zuli. I am 40 years old, and I'm from Bay City, Texas.
So, tell me a little bit. Listeners, I just have to tell y'all, she is my classmate. We're class of 99 Bay City. And we go a little ways back because we were both Dungeoneers, so we got to spend a little time together. So tell me a little bit about your family and your background.
Okay. So I am the oldest of three. I have one brother and one sister. And my parents, they are from Mexico. They were born in Mexico, and they came to this country. Let me see, I'm 40, so about 41 years ago. I am Hispanic. I have a Mexican, Spanish, and a Japanese background.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That sounds interesting.
It is. I know a lot of people don't know that, but I do have Japanese, and my great grandfather was from Japanese. He was around during Pearl Harbor, so that's how he ended up in Mexico, and he was a refugee from the war, and that's where he ended up, and that's how the whole background of Japanese in my family came to be in.
Oh, wow. That is an interesting history. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yes. No, I don't.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm good. I'm ready.
I was going to say, with everything with, this COVID, and now they're saying COVID is coming back. Yes. I hope it's not. But your mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. Your children are fairly young. So how do you explain all this virus, the mask, the changing of the school? Because one minute they were in school, one minute they were virtual. How do you explain that to young people?
Oh, it's hard. First of all, my kids are 13, Sabian, and then my daughter is 7, Estella. But it was quite a challenge, especially I work with the school district. And so, whenever we were all out for, it was spring break, all this thing was coming about, and we're like, what is this thing? Where's it coming from? How are we going to, deal with it? And we just never went back to school. And explaining it to my kids was not easy, because at that same time, there was a lot of things going on in my life, in our lives, I must say, and I had to tell them, hey, this is going on. We're not going back to school. And I'm like, well, why? At first, they're like, yay, we're not going back to school. But then I had to explain to them, well, this is the reason why. It's something called coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, and they're looking at me like, what is that, right? So there was videos that I was able actually to pull up that people had created, like on YouTube, and I was able to show them that, and then I just told them, hey, this is a virus. It's almost like the flu. We don't know a lot about it. It's new. And in order for us to take care of each other and for us to stay safe, we have to, wear a mask so that, we don't spray any germs. We just got to wash our hands more, keep our distance until we understand what it is that we're dealing with. And my son's like, okay, Mom, we understand, as I said, there will be no hugging, no kissing, and they knew, they were like, okay. And once I said that, they knew how serious I was. Because in my family, we're all about hugs. We are a Latino family. And so, we hug everyone and we kiss everybody on the cheek. So that kind of had to stop until we knew what was going on, And then also at that time I had some news that, I received. And I knew then also that we needed to be extra careful.
Right.
So just explaining it to them, and then I just told them it's nothing to be afraid of, we just pray on it and they knew. They're like, okay, well, we'll pray on it and that's what we got to do. And, children, when you talk to them and you don't keep anything from them and you just talk to them like they're little people, they tend to listen better, And so I treat them like that. I treat them like little humans and this is what's going on. I don't keep anything from them. I just try to explain it to them at their level.
Right.
So we just dealt with it, and we've just been dealing with it since,
Well, that's good, because I laugh at myself. I hated in church service where we would hug, and now I'm like, we just went back to in-person service on Sunday, but there's still no contact. You still got to wear masks, and so I'm like, I miss interaction with people because I'm not even, because I work at a hospital, I'm not even going around a lot of people, only to protect myself and to protect other people. So it's like I'm kind of missing being around people, and I used to kind of like being by to myself, So it's like, how did the kids do it? So it's crazy. So one of the things that I noticed about you, because you're one of my Facebook friends, is that you're into the wine business. How did you come about that?
Well, it's actually a neighbor of mine. Her name's Ashley Older. We were neighbors in Dickinson, Texas, and I'm sure you know where that is, being that it's close to you. We're neighbors, and we just became friends. And then, it's going to be about a year now. I noticed that she was selling wine, and I love wine. I love the sitting down with a friend and having a glass and just enjoying the flavors and just talking about, it's a good time for us to actually wine, together. And she was telling me about Scout and Cellar, and she also knows how important it is to me as a mom or as a person, just how important it is to eat clean, and she had noticed that on that I was eating clean as well. And so she just explained to me, hey, I am a consultant for Scout and Cellar. I want to be able to give you the opportunity, if you're interested, to become a consultant. It's clean crafted, and, just the values behind the company itself, how, they do for the greater good. A lot of the profit, we do a lot of, giving back to farmers, to the bees, to breast cancer awareness, to a lot. And at that time, because I've always been a big advocate of breast cancer, that was one of the things that caught my eye, that they actually, every year in October, they dedicate some sparkling wine that they, utilize to, they sell it, and then whatever a percentage of that always goes back to breast cancer. And I was like, oh, wow. And at that time, I had some questions in my mind, about breast cancer myself. And I just decided, what, this is great. You're back in my life for a reason. I want to do this. Let's try it. I'm always up for a good time with my girlfriends, and I love people. And I'm like, and we can do wine tastings. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I want to do it. And because of the pandemic, of course, I wasn't able to go all in like I wanted to. But I will. And on social media, I'll post it and I'll share with my friends. I have a group that people can go on and learn a little bit more about it. So that's how I got started with that. So
it's nothing like selling what you love.
Right? Exactly.
Now, exactly. I'm not a wine, what is it called? Connoisseur. I love my alcohol when I want my alcohol.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. The amazing thing that we just came out with, and I'll just forward you the information. It's a mixable, and it's in conjunction. It's almost like if you like vodka, or it's like vodka, but it's cleaner. So I'll send you some information, and you can take a look at it, or if you want to give it a try. But it's a mixable, and you're able to mix drinks just like you would if you had vodka or gin or tequila, and it's just cleaner, and it's better for you. So it doesn't have all that extra junk in it, So
wow, that sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to try it.
Yes, ma'am. I have to send you some.
So one of the things that you mentioned is that your parents are immigrants, and so you're a minority woman. You are a mother. So how do you feel about this whole current climate we've had in 2020 with the racism, which we know racism has existed before, but it's like openly out there now, and the protests, and then their efforts to like try to change like the name of Eskimo pies or stop selling stuff like that because they feel like it's offensive to certain races. How do you feel about all that's going on right now?
It makes me sad, honestly, because these monuments that have been up decades, right? We have street names, we have food, and it's like all of a sudden, and it's always been there, but all of a sudden, I feel like people are speaking out more about it. Right. So we are hearing more about it, and I think people just feel like, you know what? And it goes both ways. Like, I don't go either way. I just know that everyone has the right to feel the way they want to feel, Right. And I'm like, man. And then I think about it, I'm like, if we all got offended by everything, then a lot of things, if you think about it, that we utilize every day, could be offensive. Exactly. It would be offended. We'd all be offended. And then what are we going to end up with? Just regular, like a pen or, a dessert, and at the end of the day, and politics is not something that I really ever talk about a lot, just because I love everyone,
Right.
Everyone, I know that we cannot ever satisfy everyone 100%. And what I teach my children is that, look, no matter what, no matter our color, no matter the language we speak, no matter what, religion, no matter what it is, no matter the person, we're all human beings. God created us all, uniquely, but we all believe the same, and I've told my children, if you cut yourself and your friend cuts themselves, what color is going to come out of what color is blood? And that's kind of the way I explained it to my 7-year-old. Right. And she was like, well, it's red. I'm like, exactly. And there's blood's going to be red, and their blood's going to be red. And you know what? God loves us all the same. So you need to treat everyone with respect, and if you hurt someone's feelings, you know what? Tell them, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, because you need to think about something that can hurt your feelings, Right. So, and I just tell them that, you know what? Regardless who's in office, regardless of the name of the street that you live on, humanity is what is the most important, because we need to, especially right now, we don't know who's going to be president, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, guess what? It is up to us as human beings in America to make it great ourselves, regardless of who's in office. Because no matter what, we are the ones that make America. Right. We're the ones that should love each other and teach each other, and teach our children, good values, good morals, and just teach, we cannot get anywhere without love and peace. And I know that may sound a little hippie or whatever, but at the end of the day, really, that's what God is doing for us. That's for us every day. You love each other no matter what. He loves us no matter what, and He's there for us no matter what.
Absolutely. And I think about the church when you say that, because a lot of people will say, well, the pastor should do this and the pastor should do that. But I remind people that say that the church is not just the pastor. If you're a part of the body, you should be trying to walk like Christ. You should be participating in the community. You should be willing to do some volunteer work, so we can't just put it on one person. And I like your perspective of saying, no matter who it is, we have to remember it's about humanity. Because this year I look at things differently. My perspective on things is differently. I'm a little bit more observant of things going on around me, because when we were coming up, for me as a Black female, I didn't experience a lot of racism. And so most of the people in my class didn't look like me. So for when other people talk about it, I can't say I experienced that just because I'm Black, because I didn't. So I just can't jump on the bandwagon for everything, and I can't agree with everything of saying, oh, yeah, this needs to be done. That's just wrong. Even if you're of the same race, you're not going to agree on the same things. But
you're right. Exactly.
But one thing that you did say is, about God. And if we are all common believers of God, race doesn't even matter. Love and peace and patience with each other should be at the top of our goals.
Yes, ma'am. I truly believe that. And, I love everyone. And, I've always been that way. Like, I've always given everyone a chance. And I think I'm not, and, you're right. For some reason, and I don't know if it's, people are talking about 2020 is like, they're ready for it to be over. And, it's the most horrible year ever. But you know what? It really is about how you look at it. These things are happening to open up our eyes, to tell us, hey, you know what? Open up your eyes, but at the same time, it's not that hard. It's a simple thing. Just love one another, help one another, and put it in God's hands, because at the end of the day, He's the one that's going to make everything right.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Because this year I haven't felt like I've lost. I mean, I know some people have lost income and jobs and things like that, but I feel like I've gained. And I've gained mostly spiritually, because I've prayed and said, God, I'm going to leave it in your hands. Like, the things that people are complaining about.
I know.
It's like, I really need you to think about salvation. I really need you to think about the end times and the rapture that's coming. Because you're talking about a party or going to Cancun or whatever turn up you're talking about. But that should not be where your goal or mindset should be right now.
It's about what do I need to do, to get to the next, like, one day at a time. What do I need to do to get past it? And you know what? I let go and let God.
Absolutely. So I know of you. I tell people all the time, I know of you because we were in school together. But what is something that no one knows, or only a few people know about Zulia, that you would like to share?
Let me see. I sat here and I thought about it, and I was like, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, the only thing that I can think about is maybe that no one knows that Spanish was my primary language.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know that. And it was. Spanish was my primary language. Like I was saying, yes, I am a minority, and my parents, came to this country. And that's what their primary language was, Spanish. So me growing up, that's what I spoke. That was the first language that was introduced. So, so I was a bilingual student in school. I was in bilingual class, kindergarten and first grade. And I do thank my teachers, Ms. Tanguma, Ms. Vargas, who taught me the best of both worlds. In a way, it was kind of cool. I was like, hey, I know Spanish, and it was kind of scary too at the same time. It's like a roller coaster of emotions, because one, you kind of feel like, man, I don't speak English. I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm scared, but then it wasn't bad at all, because And then once I started, learning both alphabet in English and Spanish, guess what? I was like, this is great. I know both languages, and some people don't know more than one language, and I do.
Exactly, and they're paying more money for bilingual people now.
Yes, they do. And so yeah, I think that's one thing that not a lot of people know about me is that that was my primary language is Spanish, and people are like, but you don't have an accent. I'm like, I know, I'm from Texas. I don't, I'm like, the only accent you may find sometimes once in a while, my tang comes out and I'd be like, hey y'all, how are y'all? Or hey hun, but other than that, they look at me, they're like, what? You know Spanish? I'm like, yeah, I know, I do, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. And I'm happy that you were able to learn both, because I know there was a time period that in some households that were Spanish speakers, they didn't want their children to learn English. Mm-hmm. And now it's more so I'm meeting more students that come from homes that speak Spanish, but they don't know Spanish. So I kind of feel like they're at a disadvantage, because I'm like, if I could learn, well, I tried to learn, and I could still possibly learn, but I'm a little older. If I had the opportunity to know another language, that would be so cool.
It would, and it's, I'm going to tell you, as a mom that knows Spanish, it is the hardest thing to teach your children to know Spanish whenever their primary language was English, But I do come across a lot of families in the job that I'm in. I'm a parent liaison, and I do advocate for our parents, and there's a lot of programs that I'm able to provide them with, and find ways to educate, especially like our Spanish speaking parents. Mm-hmm. We find ways to educate them, and we to help them help their students, because whenever you have a student in a bilingual class, the goal is to get them comfortable enough to be in an all English, classroom setting. But it's just so amazing, because we still have those parents that want to keep their kids in bilingual classes all the way, because they're like, we don't want them to lose Spanish, because it is possible. I think if you stop talking, speaking your language, your native language, you can lose it. And I'm gonna tell you, my Spanish is not the Castilian, the proper Spanish, but I could get by in Spain, and I would love to do that one day. But yeah, it's amazing, and to see like my children, they try to learn, and so I have little Post-its everywhere, like this is a phone, it's un teléfono, so I try to teach them that way, and now that they're older, they want to learn, and I'm like, awesome, I'm going to teach y'all. They're like, okay. So they're more open to it now, because they see me and how I interact with people, whether English or Spanish, and they think it's cool. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll help you be cool. You think I'm cool? You think your mom's cool for that? Let's go with it. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And but it is hard to teach your own children, because they don't listen to you half the time. But but I think that them seeing that and seeing how beneficial it's been for me, I think that they're more open to it. But it's definitely it can be a challenge, but at the same time it can be fun. It's what you make it, right?
Right. So we just had last month was Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Uh-huh. And one of your most current battles is with breast cancer. Can you share with us how you found out, and what has that experience been like?
Oh, yes, the breast cancer. I say the breast cancer. But it's really just a bump on the road, let me tell you.
Right.
It really is. I would say we're in October. No, we're November now. So, yes, breast cancer. October of last year is when I noticed a growth in my left breast. And I was like, what's that? What's going on? And, as women, we know what we need to do to take care of ourselves. But whenever you're a mother and you have a million things going on, trying to keep everything together, you kind of tend to just kind of push yourself to the side, right?
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? I should pay attention to that. So that was in October. And then November kept growing, and then December, November, I was getting sick a lot. And I was like, something's not right, something's not right. And it's growing, and I'm having all these issues, and I'm getting sick a lot. And that's not who I am normally. Well, in December, I ended up getting sick, and I ended up having to have my gallbladder taken out. And so I pushed it to the side. And then once I got through with that surgery, I went back and I was like, okay, now I got to get this get someone to take a look at it. So I finally, with some friends of mine, like my ex, Mario, Mario,
right.
He was working with a specialist, breast specialist at the time, that happened to be a breast specialist. And then I have a very good friend of mine. His name is Carlos, and he knew of her. So I had them to tell me about her, and I'm like, okay, I got to go see this woman. So I went to see her. I actually got Mario actually gave her my cell phone, and she calls me from her cell phone, and she's in the airport, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "Oh." I was like, well, I have this growth, and I really feel like I need to get it taken. Get someone to look at it. She's like, okay, come in next week. Let's get you in. Let's get you a mammogram done and go from there. I'm like, okay. Went in, got the mammogram. And, after biopsy, I was then diagnosed. She calls me on March the 4th, and she tells me, yeah, it's cancer. And I was like, okay. I was like, so let's go ahead, and what do we need to do next? And it has been hard as a single parent now, and just one thing after another, and at that time, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to be honest, I started questioning. I was like, God, why me? Why are you doing this to me? And then I thought about it, and I'm like, why not me? Wait a minute. Why am I going to question him? Why not me? I think I got this, and so I prayed on it, and I asked him, guide me and just get me, let's get me to the next step. What do we need to do? So, and when I spoke to this doctor, she is amazing. She, Dr. Dempsey, and she's awesome. She's a God-given woman. And every time I've had to go into surgery with her, we have prayed before. And I knew that God put me with her for a reason. She said, okay, this is what you got going on. My type of cancer is, it was invasive ductal carcinoma, stage 3C, which means that I had a growth that was, pretty significant. It was I had 3 growths, and we put them together about 4 centimeters. And then I had some lymph nodes that we were questioning. And, I told her, well, what do we need to do? She was, let's do it. This is what we're going to do. We did a double mastectomy. So we got rid of the breast because, of course, I was not going to allow them to kill me. Okay. Because I'm not ready. and so we did that double mastectomy. And she said, let's do it. I said, yeah, let's do what we need to do, put it behind me. And, if anything, like it has been a roller coaster ride of emotions, but just like anyone else that may be going through something small or big. But it actually has taught me, a lot. It's taught me how to be more hopeful. It's taught me, I'm actually a stronger woman than I've ever been before. My faith has just grown. Like like you can't even imagine, and just a lot of things that have been going on. I've always been the person to help others, and I've just, I started a group as well, and people were asking me what's going on, and at first I didn't want to share it. I'm very private. I usually don't share my personal things, but God told me, you know what? You've always helped people. You're going to share this, and you're going to do it because you're going to reach people that you never thought you were going to reach, and you're going to help them. And that's what I've been doing. It's been very overwhelming, at times, but in a good way, because I have people that I've met people that I never thought I'd ever meet. People reaching out to me and they're like, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you, because I never shared mine and I wish that I would have. It's just amazing. Like sometimes it leaves me speechless, and I do get emotional about it because I didn't think that people paid attention to me.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing, and I've always just taken it as a positive perspective. It's about perspective, and I feel that God has truly blessed me, and I have an amazing support group that loves me and that prays for me. I'm part of these different prayer groups. I'm part of just different counsel groups, and I hope to one day be able to reach more people and give back like they have been given to me. And it's just been amazing. It's been an amazing experience. I've had a couple of interviews and people that want to help me, and I don't know that would be possible if I didn't have the faith that I do,
Right. Just know that, and I've been in that place, not in your place, but in my life experiences, because when I started this podcast, was a year after my mother had passed, and her mother-in-law, my grandmother, passed. She passed on May 28th of 2018, and then my mom was found deceased June 19th of 2018. So they were less than a month apart.
Oh wow!
And my divorce was final that same year. So,
oh wow!
You never know just how much you sharing your testimonies, your truth will help the next person. And I'm so, thankful for your transparency, for you sharing and your thought to, share and reach other people. I just want to let you know that this podcast is heard about 35 states in the United States and outside of the United States. So you're helping people, just by sharing, and the listeners that are sharing right now.
That's amazing. God is good.
Yes, he is. So I love your hero built photos. I've never heard about them. Please tell me a little bit about them.
Sure. I actually met back in Dickinson. I have one of my best friends, Joanne Morrell. She is a bodybuilder, and I had started working out with her, and I met. His name's Hector Martinez. I met him at an open house, or it was an open gym night that was being held there. And there's a gym there, actually. I don't know if you've heard about it. Busletics. It's like down 517 between Dickinson and Alvin.
Okay.
And so we're there, and I met this man there, and they had these shirts that said Hero Built on them. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, well, he started telling me about it. And so what it is basically what it is. It's a brand that has been created as a tribute to people who live their lives pretty much as a hero, hence the name Hero Built. It's people that are doing acts every day, like acts of kindness, whether you are in the medical field or in police, if you're a policeman or a firefighter. They save lives, they've influenced other people in just an uplifting way. It's another way, it's like a self-empowerment brand, and he promotes self-improvement as well. And it can be in anything. It can be physical fitness and training, or to improve a skill or education. And so, it's a way, heroes, everyday heroes. It's Hero Built, and the funds that he raises through these T-shirts, he has a scholarship also that he gives out to students, in high school. And yes, it is. It's really awesome, and he can be followed on Instagram or on Facebook. But he had reached out to me because he does a breast cancer shirt every year too, and he had heard about me having breast cancer, and he had been kind of following me as well and listening to my story, and he calls me one day. I was actually in chemotherapy, and he's like, hey, he messages me. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, I would like to do a photo shoot with you to help promote my breast cancer shirt. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, so let's do it, And so we did it. I drove from Sugar Land, and that same day, actually, I drove from Sugar Land, and my best friend, who happens to be the same size as me, I was like, hey, I'm going to need something pink. I'm going to do this photo shoot. She's like, okay, just come by the house. And I went by there. I got some shoes. I got, whatever I needed. I threw it together, and I knew it had to match the shirt. I get there. And it happens to be in a boxing ring. And I was like, how awesome is this, And so we just did it. Yeah, it was quite empowering. And and I had just shaved my head too, because I had lost my hair. Right. And I was like, this is going to be so cool. Photography is one of my things that I love, and I've taken pictures of other people, but I've never been the person to be photographed. Right. Right. So I thought it was fun. It was fun, and I knew it was for a good cause. And, and it was just amazing. And, and he just told me, he goes, think about it. He goes, you're an everyday hero yourself. You're going through a battle that, not a lot of people share, and this is going to be a good way for you to reach out to those people and let them know that, hey, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. And you're just a fighter with hints to, you're on the boxing ring. He's like, and I just wanted to, let you know that you're not alone, and you're going to help other women know that they're not alone. And I'm just like, oh, it was just awesome. And so that's where it came from. That's where we ended up, he came up with the idea, and he asked me to do it, and I said, let's do it. And he's like, you're a cancer hero. You're a hero as well. And I was like, well, I never thought about myself as a hero, but
absolutely, girl.
And I was like, okay, and so I was like, and it's helped him as well, I always, I'm a big promoter of small business and just helping others. And I was like, I will help you, and I was able to help them with that as well. And it was just great. It was very humbling.
Because I'm pretty sure, you've had your down moments, but you've just taken this and gone with it. Now, my ex-husband, his mother is a survivor of breast cancer as well. But I've always told myself, because if it ever happened to me, I'm like, I don't think I could do chemo. I don't think I could do I don't think I could go through this. Like, I don't think I'm strong enough for this, but if I ever reach a point in my life, where I have to go through a challenge like that, you are really inspiring me that, to keep a positive mindset and to put it in God's hands. You're a hero for us.
That means a lot. Thank you.
So what is your current status on the cancer and your treatments right now?
After having my double mastectomy, they did send off everything, and pathology, thanks be to God that it did come back good. It came back clear. It came without live cells, which is a good thing, because we don't want any of those live cells.
Well, hallelujah to that.
Yes, amen. And I was like, okay, good. I'm not going to need radiation. I'm thinking this, one step closer. But when I met with my oncologist, who has grown to know me, he decided, he's like, hey, I'm going to strongly recommend, because of the type of cancer that you have, because it was invasive and it was fast growing, I would like for you to really consider radiation. So that, as of right now, I don't want to call myself cancer free just yet, because they could have missed a little bit here and there.
Well, we just gonna claim it, okay? But we're
gonna claim it, exactly. And so my as of right now, I am healing from my double mastectomy, and we are going to be making sure my skin is good to go so that I can start radiation. And then after radiation, I'll be able to do my reconstruction. So, you know, I prayed on it as well because I thought I had the choice. I'm not going to do radiation. I don't need it. I'm good. But I'm knowing myself, and now that my oncologist, you know, called it, he said, I don't want you to think that you did not do everything possible to keep it from coming back.
Right.
And I was like, darn it, you're right. You're right. And I'm like, and I prayed on it, and I was like, whatever you told, and I asked God, whatever he tells me, I'm going to do it. And he's like, let me just tell you, if you were my wife, I would have you do it. And I'm like, okay. So we're going to do radiation, and it's true. I don't want to say that I didn't try everything, because I would beat myself up about it if it did come back, you know, and I shouldn't, you know, but I would, and I'd be like, man, I should have done this, I should have done that, could have done that, but, you know, we're going to do radiation, and we're going to do it, and we're going to get past it, and we're going to keep moving forward.
Well, I'll be praying for you. So
Thank you.
You pretty much said it, but I must specifically ask it. Throughout your journey, you've always kept a great smile and good vibes. How have you been able to proceed with faith and not fear?
Well, it's really about perspective. You know, I always tell people perspective is key. And of course, to have hope and to have faith. Have faith that no matter what, you're not going to be alone, because God has had my back through this. Let me tell you, I have prayed on it, and I've asked him, guide me, God, please guide me to what I need to do to get past this. And it definitely, you know, you've seen it, faith over fear. You know, if I sit here and I tell myself, you can't do this, you can't do it. I can't do that. I just, for some reason, I'm a fighter. Like, I can't let it defeat me. You know, I just have to keep moving forward, and, you know, and everyone goes through something, big or small, but it's up to us. It's up to us to keep going. You know, it's up to us to say, you know what? It's not easy by all means, but it's about perspective. It really is. And it's about looking at the positive thing, or instead of asking, oh man, you know, why did this happen? Like I was asking myself at first. No. Yes, it happened. You know what? Let's deal with it. Deal with it, you know, and move forward. Accept it, deal with it, and move forward.
Right.
And yeah, it sounds simple. Has it been easy? No. But because of my hope and my faith and my relationship with God, I've been fine. I am moving forward, and I'm not going to let it defeat me, because I need other people to know that it's possible. You know, anything is possible. You just have to really put your mind, you know, like mind over matter, and tell yourself, I got this. Right. You know, it's just a bump on the road. We got this, you know, and with God, everything's possible, you know, and,
right.
And just not to give up. Don't stop. Don't quit. Keep moving forward. And you know what? Maybe, you know, if I would have had a month or two to live, I'm still going to keep fighting. I'm still going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. You know, I'm going to enjoy every second with my family, because, you know, I wake up each day and I'm like, thank you, God, for allowing me to wake up another day. And at the end of the day, when I get through it, because it literally is one day at a time. I've been taking it one day at a time.
That's all you can do, because if you try to do too many days at a time, it can overwhelm you. It can.
And I don't have time for that. And my children, you know, need to know that I'm okay, you know, and they see it, you know, and I want to teach them that no matter what life brings you, you just got to keep going, keep moving forward, you know? And they see it, and they tell me, Mom, you're so strong, and they're so proud of me. And I'm like, you know, I do this because I want to show you that no matter what, you got this too.
Yeah.
You know? So it's I don't know. It's just perspective. So I can really.
And when people tell me, because I've been through so much these past couple of years, and they're like, you appear to be so strong, and I have to remind them that I have to put my trust in God. Like when I don't have the strength, I have to say, God, you're going to have to hold me up, because right now it's not a good day. Right now I'm struggling. And one of the things that I share oftentimes with my listeners is that the enemy will have you fooled thinking you're the only one going through that. And when we can get out of that mindset that, hey, somebody else has gone through this, and with you sharing what you're going through, somebody else is going to hear, hey, somebody else has gone through this, and I can get through tomorrow. I can get through tonight. I can get through the next treatment, and it's going to be okay.
Yes, ma'am. And, and amen to that, because, there's been so many days when after chemo that, my body, like, I feel so worn out, and there was times when my kids would, and then, it was crazy because, like, I get cancer on the same time as around the same time or I find out that I have cancer around the same time with the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it was almost like a double whammy, and I'm like, really? I'm like, I guess this is the year to have it, but, and that was another thing that helped my children to really understand the importance of wearing the mask and cleaning your hands, because they knew that, and I told them, mommy is sick and mommy cannot afford to get, more sick, because I have to have these treatments done, being immune deficient at the time. And I'm barely getting back into my body's barely getting back to somewhat normal. My taste is coming back, which is great because I love food. But it's been crazy. It's been crazy. But now I think that they have actually accepted what we need to do because with COVID, because of my cancer. So that kind of helped me a little bit explain it to them, But it's been tough.
You're saying that you're working on healing. So where's somewhere you would like to travel, probably with the kids, probably by yourself, when your health is back up and COVID has passed, or under control, better under control, should I say?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we don't know what. Yeah. Well, my parents could never afford to take me to Disney World, so I would love to take my children to Disney World because I'm a big kid at heart. And I know I'm going to have fun, And I want to take them to Disney World because, again, like I've never gone. And I know that my children would love it because we love Star Wars. We would love Star Wars to Disney Princess. It's everything. It's a magical place. It's a place where we can go and we can just escape from our realities and just let ourselves go. We can have fun and be worry-free. And I want to give that to them because they have gone through a lot with me, and I'm going to say we have gone through a lot because, with my separation, going through my divorce, and a lot of changes happening, moving, and with my sister and now with my parents and having it's just a lot to take in, and we all need a break, and I would just love to be able to take them to this world, and I'm going to say it will happen. I'll make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. And, or God's going to find a way for me to make it happen.
That was going to be the next thing I was going to say. God going to put a blessing in your life so you can go.
Yes, he is. And that's something that I would like to do with them, is take them so that we can escape all the negative things that have happened, and then just be happy because we all want to be happy, and I think that's, and there's times when I want to get away too, but if I'm at a beach, that's my therapy. I can be any beach. That would be my therapy. But
I love the beach. Oh yes. My gosh. When I was younger and we had sometimes we'd have so much going on in our household. When I finally had a car of my own, I would drive down there and sit for hours listening to the waves. I love the beach.
Isn't it amazing? It's like, it's therapeutic. It's like, you can sit there and just listen to the sound of the waves, and then you look out and you just think, what an amazing world. Like, we so take it for granted, like the beauty of what God has given us, and and to sit there and just look out to endless like water,
right. And I look at the things like creations like that, and I'm like, how are some people unable to understand there is a God? Because you can't just man make all of this. You can't.
No.
Like,
you cannot. And to look out there and look at that and just sit there and say, you know what, this is amazing. And I can't wait to travel more, because like that is I would love to visit every beach if I could before, God calls me up to heaven, and just, watch a sunset at every beach all over the world. Like, I think that would be amazing.
You should make yourself a list, because my goal right now is 50 states by 50. So next week I'll be 40. I haven't, because I didn't travel much while I was married. So I did start on my list, but then COVID hit, so I stopped traveling. But I'm gonna get back to it. But you should make a list, because I know one of our classmates took her kids to like all the national parks or something like that. So, you should make a list and see how many beaches you can find.
That's right, girl. I'm gonna make a list. You're gonna have me make it after we get off. I'm gonna just get a globe. I should just get a globe. And then just, once I go to every beach and just like, highlight it or something.
Yeah.
That would be I'm going to have to do it.
One beach at a time.
That's right.
So this weekend you have a benefit coming in Bay City, correct? Yes,
ma'am. I do.
Can you share the times with the listeners? So if any of y'all are in Bay City area, Zulia's having a benefit. They put together a nice benefit for her. They're raffling off some things, and they're serving food. So share the details for that for the listeners, please.
Sure. So if you're from Bay City, and we all know where Wells Fargo is.
Right.
It's across the street from Wells Fargo, People's Laundry. Mm-hmm. It'll be at People's Laundry. And they're going to start at 11 a.m. and they're going to be there until they sell everything. And the way that came to being is it's actually another blessing. I'm telling you, blessing upon blessing. I had nothing to do with that. It was all my classmates. A couple of my classmates got together. Marie Lada, Amanda Cosby, and Amanda Cosby's mom, who's my mama T, Tanya Ellis. And Felicia Gonzalez. They actually all got together with other classmates that I don't know yet, and I'm hoping to be able to thank them on Saturday. They're doing $10 sandwich. It's a choppy sandwich with chips, a drink, and I believe a dessert, and it's $10 per meal. And you can go pick one up if you were unable to buy a ticket. You go pick one up there. Then they're going to have mini raffles that with just items that have been donated and by some people that I don't even know. And but I'm like, can y'all please make a list of all the donations, because I am so ready to thank them all. So if y'all are in the area between 11 and I don't know, maybe 2:00, I don't know how long they're going to be out there. Or I should say we, because I'm going to go out there and see if there's a thing I can do. I'll probably just spend my whole time thanking everybody.
Right.
And if you can go out there and support, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It's just been amazing. We'll be out there. And
that's such a blessing. And if you're just passing through and just want to drop off a donation, she will accept. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
So, you shared about the wine. You shared that it's Scott Cellar. Do you have a link or a page for listeners to follow your journey?
I do. I have actually 3 little groups that I want to share, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the wine, clean crafted wine, or interested in hosting a tasting, we could always do a virtual tasting. And maybe in the future, later, after everything dies down a little bit and we're able to get together, we can always do a tasting in your home. I'll bring the wine, and you can provide the, the snacks. You can follow my, to learn more about it, and if you want to order, you can go on www.scoutandcellar.com/vinofino, VINOFINO, which in Spanish, that means fine wine. Oh. Yes. And you can also go on my Facebook page, which is Vino Fino, your Scout and Cellar consultant, Zulia. Or follow me on Facebook, Zulia Mejia, and then I can, add you on that group. Another group, if you want to follow my journey, you're more than welcome. It's basically, that's what it's called on Facebook. It's a group called My Journey by Zulia. And one thing that I haven't talked about, and I think you're a part of this, I started this group for women empowerment, and
right.
And I'm hoping to get more into it. I had a plan for it, and then this life happens. But if you want to go, I called it W2W, and what that means is woman to woman. We don't bash men, okay? What we do is we simply we have little memes on there. We talk about little experiences, and I'm hoping to grow it eventually. But it's a group for just women. And we just go on there and we post little, memes or scriptures or anything to just motivate each other, And so that's another group that if you, as a woman, would like to be part of that, I invite you to be on there. And it's helped me out a lot, because when I went through my separation, I created this, and then we started talking to other people. I started writing to other women and just commenting and letting them know that they're not alone, no matter what, a walk of life you're in at the moment, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. And that's basically what this is, and I've had women reach out to me and thank me for it, and I hope to grow it, and that'll be down the line, but you are invited to join.
Thank you for sharing that information. Thank you for sharing your story and your journey with us. I will be praying with you and for you, and so will the listeners of the Absence of Her podcast. Amen. So anything else would you like to add before we close out?
I just want to say, thank you to your listeners and to you for reaching out. And I just want people to know that no matter what you're going through, God's got your back. I mean, you just have to allow Him to take control of the situation. God is so great, and you just if you don't know that, please seek Him. He's there for you, and there's no greater love than His. And just stay prayed up, stay hopeful. Don't give up. Don't stop. Keep going. Keep moving forward. If you need somebody to tell you, hey, you got this, and bug you, because I have bugged people daily by text or message, I'm there. Reach out to me. I'd be happy to talk to you. And just know that, God has your back, and God is great. And if you find yourself in a bind, just give it to Him, and He'll take care of it for you. But you have to allow Him to take over, because other than that, you'll just keep yourself in that little cycle,
Right.
And,
right.
So,
amen. Amen. I agree wholeheartedly, because I've tried to do things my own way, and submitting to God is the best thing that I ever could have done.
Yes. And I am a strong believer in, I've always been, I've always prayed about growing up. I've always prayed to God, and I've asked Him to help me through a lot of things. But as an adult now, and as a mother, and as with everything that's been going on in the world, it's not going to get any easier. My faith has grown a lot, and the things that He has done for me through my journey, whether it be big or small, and especially this, with breast cancer. If it weren't for him, if it weren't for my faith, and if it weren't for me to just allow him to take over, I really don't know where I'd be, you know. And a lot of my supporters, a lot of my just friends and family, you know, they've been there for me more than I ever thought, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, been there for me by giving me money or doing this or doing that. It basically is just knowing that they care and that they're praying for me. Because people ask me, do you need anything? I'm like, no, I just need you to pray for me or give me some positive vibes, you know, and that's all I need, you know, and that's it. And it's worked. And if you're praying for me, keep them coming, keep them prayers coming, because they can't ever be enough, you know?
Yes, we will.
Thank you.
Well, I am Everett Maxine, and this is The Absence of Her. I would like to thank you for listening. Remember to like, follow, and most importantly, share.